Hello everybody, welcome back to High Ground. My name is Tanner, and today we're going to be doing predictions for the final portion of this stage of the NAL 2023 season. So the end of the group stage is coming to an end, and then we're going to play through a bracket, but that's sort of beyond the scope of this video. Let's just focus on the previous games and the upcoming games. So Beast Coast taking down Parabellum 7-1. I don't think a terribly unexpected result, but maybe the 7-1 was a little bit out of the range of expectations. I got the first 5 of these right and the last 2 wrong, so it was looking pretty good for me until a couple of heartbreaks at the end there. M80 takes down Sonics, also pretty well expected. I think the 7-4 scoreline makes sense as well. Oxygen 7-4ing Mirage. I think a few pretty close rounds for Mirage. They won all of their rounds on defense. They couldn't win an attack, but they were pretty close. They probably could have even won one more defense, and so maybe it could have been 7-5. Maybe they could have even pushed overtime. Oxygen definitely the better team, but I think Mirage showing that they're definitely not pushovers, having a little bit better of a result than in some of their other games. SSG taking down M80. I think this was one of the biggest shockers. I did predict SSG here, but I would have thought maybe overtime or 7-5 or something. They handled them pretty easily, which was a bit weird. I think it was only Iconic that really put up much of a fight on M80's side. And then Sonics taking down Dark Zero in overtime. They got super lucky. Gaveni definitely choked one round where he was in a 1v2 post plant and he had the angle to kill the guy. He had his pistol out, but he just, like, because looking straight down in Siege is weird, he couldn't manage to find the kill, and so they lost the round, and that was pre-overtime, so they would have won 7-5 had that not happened. But you know, playing best of ones, sometimes one round can make all the difference. And then Mirage take down Beast Coast. Pretty close game. Beast Coast maybe made a few too many errors. Obviously, you know, they lost the game, but they could have potentially gone overtime or won the game. Not like Mirage was playing absolutely pristine Siege, Beast, you know, just outclassing Beast Coast a little bit. And I do think going to show that Mirage is not an absolute pushover like some people might think. And then finally, the first 7-0 of the stage, Dark Zero versus SSG, and it's very weird because these two teams usually have very, very close games, and I guess the teams have changed quite a lot over time, particularly SSG coming into this stage, and they were doing quite well. You know, they were second place, and if they won this, would they be in first? Yeah, if they won this, and of course they only have 1 game going into the final day, whereas Oxygen has 2, but you know, if they'd won, they'd have more points than Oxygen, so they'd have temporary first place. But Oxygen, Space Station, and M80 at the end of the day have locked themselves into top 6. Nobody yet secured top 2, which are sort of the tiers that you want to make it in. All right, let's look at predictions for day number 4. Oxygen versus Sonics. Banger matchup on the docket. It looks like Oxygen definitely less to play for. If Sonics lose this and Mirage lose, I think it's just going to be, well, actually, no, if Parabellum wins, it's tough to say because, yeah, then Parabellum might win, and then they have another game. So there's different circumstances, but all right, so let's assume Parabellum's out of the running for some reason. Let's assume they get smoked in this game. Even if Mirage lose here and Sonics loses here, this could end up being a win and in. It could be, you know, Sonics Parabellum or Mirage Parabellum as the bottom 2, depending on the results of this game. Could be very exciting. So that'll be set up by the first 2 games, I suppose. I'm going to go with Oxygen, though. They've been the better team, and I was going to say they have less to play for because they've already secured their top 6 spot, but they can also, of course, secure their top 2 spot, which is really where you want to be. Makes you have to play fewer matches and much more likely to advance to phase 2 of the major. So yeah, I'll go with Oxygen there. Maybe if Sonics had looked a little bit better in the previous play days, I'd go with them because, again, much more to play for. But no, Oxygen have just looked much better than Sonics. Parabellum versus Mirage. I think I'm going to go with Mirage here. Well, I don't know if they necessarily have more to play for because, again, they're only 1 point ahead of Parabellum. Like, the team that loses this could basically be out of the runnings, depending on the result of the Sonics game. Like, there's a lot of considerations here. But Parabellum just got 7-1'd by Beast Coast, and then Mirage beat Beast Coast. And, you know, the only win that Parabellum actually has was that first day win against Oxygen, which feels like more and more of a fluke. I just feel like Mirage feels like a bit more of a, I don't even know if complete team is the right term, but I don't know. I just feel like they feel stronger at the moment based on what we've seen. So I'll go with Mirage there. Then we have Dark Zero versus Beast Coast. So, I mean, this could be an interesting one. Look at the points. Beast Coast is just a single point behind. And, well, Dark Zero just put up a 7-0. And Beast Coast has been surprisingly good. I mean, look, Dark Zero just has 1 more overtime win compared to 1 additional, or overtime loss compared to one additional regulation loss for Beast Coast. I'm going to go with Dark Zero here, though. They're usually pretty good at fighting against these newer, less structured kind of teams, and that I think Beast Coast definitely fits the bill, but we could absolutely see some heroics from Hat, Mr. B, Vertical, and maybe even Doc and Hyper. We'll have to see, but I'll go with Dark Zero, the safer bet on that one. Then we have Oxygen versus Space Station, and I mean, it feels hard to pick Space Station coming off a devastating 7-0, but besides that, they've been quite good this stage. Again, they could be number one, and this could be the game that determines number one at the end of the stage. This is the final game for both of these teams, and you know, I'm gonna do the wild card pick here. I'm gonna go SSG. They handled M80 pretty easily. Like, the Dark Zero thing just feels like a bit of a fluke. Like, maybe they still would have lost, but I feel like they probably wouldn't have got 7-0'd had they gone to a map other than Cafe. And yeah, so definitely the underdog pick here, but you know, you got to pick some unsafe bets every once in a while. So I'll go with SSG there. Sonics versus Mirage. So again, this could end up being the game of the day, or at least the game with the most stakes. I think I gotta go with Sonics here, though. Like, all their players, we finally saw a good game from a good number of their players. I think Grixer, Rexen, and maybe Gunner. I think 3 of their players had a pretty good game against, yeah, I guess that must have been in the Dark Zero game because they didn't do especially well versus M80. Still waiting to see Citizen go positive in a game. He's only gone even or negative. Same thing with Achieved. He finally went even, but still yet to go positive. So let's see if one of them could do it in the final day. But yeah, I'll go Sonics here. I feel like they are, I mean, of course, they're the better team on paper. Maybe Mirage wants it more. Maybe they're scrappier, hungrier, because Sonics have looked a bit lethargic, a bit lazy. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who comes out in the end there. I'll predict Sonics. M80 versus Beast Coast. Easy M80 pick. Oh, well, no, maybe not easy. Sometimes when you see the Beast Coast logo, you think they're terrible. But at the moment, they're not terrible. You know, M80 seems like the stronger team. It's easy to pick against these lower tier teams, even if Beast Coast has been making some upsets. And maybe if they continue to do so, we won't call them upsets anymore. But yeah, I'll go with M80. And then the final game, Dark Zero, I'll go with over Parabellum because, I mean, I think that just makes a lot more sense. This could be a little bit disappointing of a final game. Maybe if Dark Zero loses to Beast Coast and if certain things happen, then maybe we'll have some stakes here because Dark Zero's not 100% locked into top 6, but they were like 98% locked in, so we need some very specific circumstances. And I don't know, like, because Sonics and Mirage play each other, it's very unlikely that Parabellum will have the chance to pass both of them, which they need to do in order to get out of the very bottom. But maybe if Parabellum gets this win over Mirage, then yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I'll go with Dark Zero. So we'll go down the line one more time for the final predictions for the group stage of stage number 1 NAL. So I have Oxygen over Sonics, I have Mirage over Parabellum, Dark Zero over Beast Coast, Space Station over Oxygen, Sonics over Mirage, M80 over Beast Coast, and Dark Zero over Parabellum. So honestly, I've gone with mostly safe bets, and I think I've missed a few of the 50-50s, but I also got some of them right. Like, I think the Space Station over M80 ended up being a pretty good call, but in like the first day, unfortunately, I got these 2 wrong. You know, it's tough to get your predictions wrong on round 15 games. It just almost comes down to a coin flip. But yeah, I think at the moment we played 21 games. I think I'm at 13 out of 21, which is decent. Obviously, I brought up my average from the first 2 days. I got 4 out of 7, 4 out of 7, and then 5 out of 7. So hopefully we can end it with, well, I mean, 20 out of 28 sounds pretty good, but it feels pretty unlikely I'll get 7 out of 7 on the day. So anyways, yeah, I suppose that's going to do it for the video. So yeah, leave your own predictions below, and I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. Like and subscribe, and oh, you know, you can still follow me on Twitter. Maybe I'll keep plugging that, but you know, maybe I'll get fewer followers than when I plugged it at the beginning. So yeah, that is HG Tanner, and yeah, I'll probably link that in either the description or in the comments. So yeah, with all that being said, catch you guys in the next one.